What's up, everyone? Dan Saavedra here from MergerData, and we are going over the revenue leak troubleshooting process and approach that we take when we're working with clients, getting them 15% or more growth in 6 months. So we'll get into this fishbone diagram here so that you can use it for your own business, see exactly how we do it. Just to show you again, in this Miro board, which I'll have a link to in the description of the video below. In this Miro board, we have some of the results of working with clients. You can see the revenue growth that we have here after we start working with people. We have the little arrows pointing to when we start working with them, how we apply these strategies, and then this is the results that they get. And so you can see the type of growth that happens when you start applying these RevOps principles and strategies that we have and focusing on the growth aspect of it. And so I've been thinking a lot about what RevOps is when it's not focused on growth. And to me, RevOps without a focus on growth is just OCD. It's just keeping clean, extra clean for the sake of keeping extra clean. Obviously, it goes deeper than that, but we need to focus on growth here. So that's what we're going to do. And so let's get into this fishbone diagram. We're talking specifically about why are we leaking revenue. And so a lot of times when people hire us, they know that they are leaving money on the table. They're missing opportunities in their CRM, usually in the few $100,000 to $1 million range over the course of 6 months. And they're not capitalizing on all that hard work that they're doing. And so we look at this problem and we try to find the root causes of why that is happening. And there's a lot of places that it can be caused by. The root cause can exist in a lot of places in the organization. And so basically with this diagram, you can see we have the dot voting here still to use this template with clients to drop it on the sticky notes that make sense. And basically on the outside, you have the main cause. One level in, you have the root causes of the problem, and then you have highlighted root causes. And so I just put a set of sample causes, root causes, and highlighted root causes here so that you can see exactly how we walk through this. So it differs. You go through this exercise and you change the sticky notes for specifically what your organization is facing. A lot of times, though, with the revenue leaking problem, you have these main causes, and then the next root cause sticky notes are specific to your organization. So I've included 3 common ones on each level. Typically, you would only pick 1 on each level, but just to give you an idea of what process we go through. And so the first thing that we're looking at here as a main cause that you have to look into for revenue leakage is strategy. And strategy, people talk about it a lot. So I'm just going to get into the root causes of this problem, this main cause. 1, we have the wrong revenue model. 2, we have the poor resource allocation. 3, we have no real growth strategy. And then for the highlighted root causes, what I'm doing is I put the highlighted root cause in the same position as the root cause of the problem. So for the wrong revenue model, we're talking about expansion strategy is missing. All right, so there's no specific strategy around expanding existing accounts. There's no talk about it. We have no plan. We are just winning accounts, delivering, and then that's it. And so that's a big problem that we see. And these are all taken from things that we see with clients. 2, poor resource allocation. So this could be ratios between marketing, sales, and ops. Budget is wrong. So the ratios between those organizations are not correctly aligned. You're putting too much towards marketing. You're putting too much towards sales, something like that. And so that can be a strategic problem, poor resource allocation causing revenue to leak. And then 3rd, no real growth strategy. And so numbers for targets, but no real strategy behind it. A lot of people that we talk to, they say we want to grow 20%. And that's their strategy. But that's not a real strategy. You have to get into the details of how you're going to do that and all the facets that roll up into a strategy as a whole. A lot of times it's these other things, the processes, the systems, the positioning, the people and structure, the churn, and how all of that fits together. And so you need to have a real growth strategy. Otherwise, you are missing out on revenue because you're doing random acts of marketing and sales. Next, we have processes as a main cause. So here, 3 things that we typically see as a root cause. Marketing to sales handoffs are broken, lead management is broken, and sales to CS handoffs are broken. You can see we have 2 handoffs here, but a lot of times things get lost in translation, and your prospects and or customers get mad because they're repeating themselves over and over and over again. And so these are common root causes. Marketing to sales handoffs are broken. We do not know why customers come to us. And so marketing might be handing off to sales and they don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, why they are showing up to sales in the first place. 2, lead management is broken. So poor routing rules and scoring misalignment is a really common one that causes revenue leakage because leads are not being routed to the correct people, or scoring isn't aligned to what an MQL or SQL actually is. 3, sales to CS handoffs are broken. Kickoff is clunky and slow. Sales didn't communicate all the stuff you just talked about to close this deal. And so now you have this frustrating process for customers where they get a bad taste in their mouth and then they don't want to expand, they don't want to renew, and all the other things that go with it. Next, we have systems as a root cause. And so the 3 things under systems that we commonly see: critical systems aren't connected, team isn't using the CRM, and automations are missing. So if critical systems aren't connected, a lot of times the highlighted root cause is HubSpot doesn't have accurate financial data. And so if you don't have accurate financial data inside of your CRM, how are you going to know how marketing and sales is performing in terms of the overall impact on the company? If you have inaccurate numbers around deals that are closed and won, renewals, expansions, and everything else, you are not going to have an accurate picture of how marketing and how sales are contributing and the specific initiatives and how successful they are. Huge issue we see. Team isn't using the CRM. Adoption is always a big one. No training and no incentive to use the CRM. And so we have to find a way to get people to use the CRM, put data in, and be able to scale these operations when we're going to market. 3, automations are missing. No way to identify and follow up with high converting ops automatically. So when we're talking about automations here, specifically, we like to focus on ones that are generating revenue. And so this is follow-ups, this is identification of people who are sitting in certain stages too long, and things in that category. And so that's a common one that we see. Next, we're going into positioning. Positioning, we have no authority, pricing, and messaging, all 3 very common things that impact revenue, causes a lot of leakage. If it's no authority, it's because social proof is lacking and is perceived as a commodity. The brand is perceived as a commodity. 2, pricing, we're priced too low for our ICP and value prop. If you are priced too high for your ICP and value prop, then you either don't have a good business or you are focusing on the wrong person. It's pretty much straightforward how it is. A lot of people, though, are priced too low, us included. We get feedback often that our prices aren't high enough. We keep bumping them up. So take that as a warning. If you are interested in working together, prices might be going up soon. 3, messaging. So if your marketing and sales messaging doesn't match the market position and target prospects, you have a big problem because people are not going to convert. Causes revenue leakage because people are stalling in certain life cycle stages. They feel like you are not communicating with them, and so they drop out from the customer journey. Next, people and structure. Organizational structure isn't clear. Marketing and sales don't communicate. Skill sets don't match what is needed. And so skill sets don't match what is needed. It takes too long to get mediocre results because people don't have the right skills. And so this will cause revenue leakage because marketing is less efficient, sales is less efficient, delivery is less efficient, and then you have problems entirely down the organization. So you need to make sure you have the right skill sets for what you're trying to deliver. Next, marketing and sales don't communicate. A root cause that we commonly see is incentives make departments work against each other. People don't perceive incentives across the organization in different silos. And so people end up working against each other subconsciously. It's usually not on purpose. And so this causes revenue leakage because people aren't effectively creating synergy, which we love. Synergy, we love. It's getting 1 + 1 = 3, right? Organization structure isn't clear, so teams aren't clear on what they're trying to accomplish and with who. How do you know what to do if you don't know what your goal is? You're just spinning wheels. You're just doing stuff as it pops up. That's not a way to strategically drive growth. It can work for a little bit, but then it all comes collapsing down. And then last but not least, the other root cause or the main cause that we look at for revenue leakage is churn. So we have delivery to end customers, price to value ratio, and customer relationship building is lacking as root causes. And then the highlighted root causes for each of these: delivery to end customers, it takes too long to reach value. And so if you are working with someone and it takes 6 months for them to see any benefit from spending money with you, it's going to be very hard to keep them on board. Next, price to value ratio. What is delivered isn't perceived as a great ROI. So maybe you're delivering fast, but there's not enough. And so people get to the end of their contract terms and they say, why are we paying for this? Why would we renew? And they churn. Last, customer relationship building is lacking. That means the highlighted root cause is communications are too automated or not useful or frequent enough. And so these are the main things we see with churn, the highlighted root causes that cause revenue leakage. It is the first step in attacking the problem and fixing it. This isn't meant to be an operating plan, but it's meant to talk to people within the organization with leadership to see exactly what is going on. Why are we not capitalizing on all of the opportunities that we have? Every business faces it. It's impossible to be perfect, but you can definitely get much better. You can focus on what is working. You can identify why revenue is leaking and patching up those holes, and then continue to grow your business. It's what we do at MergerData. If this is something that you're facing, if this exercise feels like it would be useful for you, but you want someone to guide you along it, then I would suggest scrolling up here to this document and booking a call. The link is right there. We get these results for our clients. We get this growth in 6 months or less. Sometimes it's immediate, depending on the problem set that you're facing. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. You can see here it took about 6 months to start growing that revenue. Depends on the problem set, right? But if you're between 5 and 20 million, we guarantee that we will grow your business 15% or more in 6 months. And you can see the results here from the screenshots. I'm Dan Saavedra from MergerData. Hopefully this was a useful video for you, and I will see you on the next one.